These are the three Thermos brands still built like a professional-grade tool because Stanley, the company that once made the toughest double-wall vacuum insulation flask on the planet, sold out. The story of how they sold out is one of the most dramatic brand transformations in American consumer history. On September 2, 1913, a physicist and engineer named William Stanley Jr. patented the all-steel vacuum flask. Stanley wasn't some marketing guy with a vision board. He was an inventor with over 100 patents to his name. A man who helped bring alternating current to the United States and create the world's first practical transformer. While working with transformers, he discovered that a welding process he was using could insulate a vacuum bottle with steel instead of glass. That single insight created an entirely new category of product. By 1915, mass production had begun in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. During World War I, the United States Army tested Stanley thermoses by dropping them out of airplanes and running them over with heavy equipment. They survived. Bomber pilots carried them during World War II. For decades, you'd find Stanley thermoses on construction sites, in the cabs of long-haul trucks, clipped to the packs of hunters and linemen working in freezing temperatures. It was the only all-steel thermos in production until the mid-1960s, competing directly with legacy brands like Thermos LLC. It wasn't a lifestyle accessory, it was a tool. So what happened? In 1965, Aladdin Industries out of Nashville acquired the Stanley line. By 1988, they'd outsourced plastic molding to Brazil. But the real turning point came in 2002, when Seattle-based Pacific Market International, or PMY, acquired the Stanley and Aladdin branding rights. PMY was owned by the Havey Group, and they had a very specific plan. They wanted to take this narrow legacy industrial thermos brand and turn it into a modern global drinkware company. Production moved to China. 99% of Stanley-branded stainless steel products are now manufactured there. They began expanding the product line beyond thermoses into barware, flasks, and accessories. Then came the Quencher. In 2016, Stanley introduced the Adventure Quencher tumbler. It flopped. Sales were so disappointing that by 2019, the company stopped restocking it entirely. Annual revenue sat around $70 million. The Quencher was essentially dead. But then three women from Utah changed everything. Lindley Hutchinson, Ashley Lesweur, and Taylor Cannon, the founders of an online shopping blog called The Buy Guide, were early lovers of the Quencher. They approached Stanley's executive team with a blunt message. As Hutchinson later put it, they sat down and said, "You're marketing this cup to the wrong people." Stanley listened. They resumed production, rolled out an increasingly broad array of colors, and leaned hard into social media. What followed was an explosion. The hashtag Stanley Cup racked up nearly 7 billion views on TikTok. Revenue jumped from $70 million in 2019 to an estimated $750 million by 2023. That's more than a tenfold increase in 4 years. Stanley Cups landed in the hands of beauty bloggers, in the cup holders of parents at school pickup, on the Christmas lists of children. Reports surfaced of kids being bullied for not having the right brand of cup. Limited edition colorways created target frenzies. But here's where the story turns dark. In March 2023, a lead poisoning prevention activist named Tamara Rubin, known as Lead Safe Mama, raised concerns about the presence of lead in Stanley tumblers. On the bottom of each Quencher sits a circular stainless steel barrier, covering a pellet used to seal the vacuum insulation. That pellet contains lead. A Stanley spokesperson confirmed it, saying, "Our manufacturing process currently employs the use of an industry-standard pellet to seal the vacuum insulation at the base of our products. The sealing material includes some lead." Experts were split. One NYU public health professor said there was practically zero risk of lead ingestion if the cup stays intact. But Jane Houlihan, research director for Healthy Babies, Bright Futures, offered a different perspective. She said, if the cup stays intact, there's likely no lead exposure risk. But if that bottom seal comes off, all bets are off. Lead is so toxic you just can't take chances with it. Then in December 2024, Stanley issued a recall on 2.6 million steel travel mugs after 38 people suffered burn injuries from loose tops. The recall covered switchback and trigger action models sold through Amazon, Walmart, Target, and Dick's Sporting Goods. Amazon reviews began revealing consistent issues with leaking, insulation failure, and durability. By 2024, sales had dropped 52% from their peak. In February 2025, Stanley Black & Decker, the industrial tools company, sued PMI over trademark violations, claiming reputational harm from the waves of negative press about lead burns and recalls. The brand that once survived being thrown from airplanes was now recalling millions of units because the lids fell off. So what replaced it? Here are 3 brands still built like a professional-grade tool. First, Zojirushi. Founded in 1918 in Osaka, Japan, as the Ichikawa Brothers Trading Company, Zojirushi has been making vacuum bottles for over a century. They started with hand-blown vacuum bottles and evolved into one of the most respected thermos manufacturers in the world, competing alongside fellow Japanese brand Tiger Corporation in the premium Asian market. Their products are known for advanced Japanese vacuum insulation technology, consistency, and long-lasting performance. Users report keeping liquids hot for 23 to 24 hours. One reviewer described using the same heavy-duty Zojirushi bottle for 4 years of fishing sessions without a single failure. One important note, though, some production has shifted to Thailand, and some users have reported quality differences between Japanese-made and Thai-made units. If this matters to you, check the country of origin before purchasing. Second, Klean Kanteen. In 2004, a man named Robert used materials from his local hardware store to prototype the first reusable stainless steel water bottle in the United States. He founded Klean Kanteen and began selling them at music festivals, environmental fairs, and outdoor recreation events. Today, Klean Kanteen is a family-owned, certified B-Corporation based in Northern California. And here's the detail that matters most in light of Stanley's lead controversy. All Klean Kanteen products are lead-free. Instead of lead-based pellets, they use silica and glass plugs to create their vacuum seals, a material that costs 6 to 7 times more than the lead alternative. 95% of their products are made from certified, 90% post-consumer recycled stainless steel. Their TK wide bottle has won Editor's Choice Awards, with drinks staying cold for up to 145 hours and hot for up to 47 hours. They chose to spend more on materials because they decided the safety of their customers wasn't a line item to optimize. Third, YETI. Founded in 2006 by brothers Roy and Ryan Siders in Austin, Texas, YETI built its reputation not through TikTok, but through professional outdoorsmen, hunting and fishing shows, and a cooler so tough it is certified bear-resistant by the Interagency Grizzly Bear Committee. Their drinkware uses thicker stainless steel than most competitors, with inner walls at 0.5 millimeters and outer walls at 0.6 millimeters. All YETI drinkware is BPA-free, tested at accredited third-party labs, and compliant with FDA standards for lead content and California Prop 65. Their drinkware is manufactured in China, but their Tundra cooler line is still made in the USA by Dutchland Plastics. Here's the bigger picture. The global insulated drinkware market is on track to hit $12 billion by 2025. North America alone held over 30% of that market in 2024, with the US market valued at $9.5 billion. There's enormous money in this space, and that money creates pressure to cut costs, chase trends, and prioritize marketing over materials. Stanley's story is a cautionary tale about what happens when a brand built on substance pivots entirely to style. A thermos that once served bomber pilots is now being collected like sneakers, used infrequently and recalled by the millions. Meanwhile, Zojirushi, Klean Kanteen, and YETI continue to build products the way Stanley used to, as professional-grade tools designed to work, not trends designed to sell. William Stanley Jr. died in 1916, just 3 years after patenting his invention. He never saw his thermos go to war. He never saw it become a TikTok phenomenon. And he never saw the company bearing his name choose a lead-based pellet to save a few cents on manufacturing. But the standard he set, a vacuum flask built like a professional-grade tool, still exists. You just have to know where to look.